So I'm setting up the animation for some really terrific shoes by Diadora that are for Autism Awareness Month. Foot Locker has given me the opportunity to make a documentary and even a short piece about these great sneakers. But this is really about the people who wear these great sneakers, people living their lives with autism, and the people who advocate for them. Hi, my name is Ben Rosloff, and the name of this documentary and the campaign is called Be Seen. My first stop for Foot Locker is to meet the designer of these really cool sneakers, Sarat Tan. Sarat used to work as a professional wrestler, but now works as a professional designer. You've probably seen his design work on wrestlers for the WWE and on his wife Sasha Banks. Mercedes Justine Kastner Varnado is her real name. I wanted to know how he chose his design for the shoes and what made him want to design it. This is our chance to get a sneak peek. So tell me about yourself. How did you get interested from being a wrestler to becoming a costume designer?
So when I started training for wrestling, that was back in the year 2000, and I knew back then I needed costumes for me when I wrestled. So I took a sewing class in school, and I just gradually taught myself how to make more elaborate costumes. And when my wife ended up getting signed by WWE, I started making her costumes, and I gradually just started making more and more for people until they decided to bring me on for a couple months to help out, and I've been with the WWE ever since.
So I heard that you had a brother-in-law, and Sasha's brother named Joshua Banks. How old is he?
He's actually 26 or 27. I think he just had a birthday recently, or somewhat recently, or his birthday's coming up.
Besides the day program that he goes to now, did he had other good school programs and teachers in the past?
So his family and my wife's family, they bounced around a lot. They moved around a lot, trying to find good schooling for him. So they've lived in Oregon and Minneapolis and places like that, and they didn't have a lot of good luck growing up finding good schooling. And it wasn't until they reached Boston to where they actually found a day program which they were comfortable with him in. Since I've met him, with his the day programs he's been taking part in, it's made a huge difference. Just him actually being able to be around other people, being sociable, like things like that has really opened him up a lot.
I heard that he and his sister Sasha used to watch wrestling together when they were kids.
Yeah, so she credits the nights that she used to watch wrestling with her brother as the parts that it taught her love for wrestling. It really gave her that love, and that connection he has with her in wrestling it really drives her a lot. Like, he loves to come to the shows and watch his sister wrestle. He loves cheering against her. But it's that connection between him, her, and wrestling is a big part of her life.
Has your brother-in-law ever thought about being a wrestler, or has he thought of a different dream job?
So he can't really do anything that requires that type of physicality. He isn't able to. So right now he's learning a lot of new life skills at his day program, job skills and stuff like that. But in all honesty, he loves just talking about wrestling, hanging out and talking about movies. I can actually see him eventually getting to a point where he just does what you do. He talks about movies with me.
What are the new projects you, Sasha, or Joshua are planning to do?
Well, so one thing I've been doing lately is I've been dipping into the sneaker game. Growing up, I was a huge sneakerhead. I used to work at the Foot Action. I was started in the stock room, worked my way up to being a manager. And last year, Foot Locker and Foot Action, they gave me the opportunity to design a sneaker for autism awareness, which I actually have with me right here. And this sneaker was done in conjunction with Diadora. And this was our first foray into creating a sneaker specifically to help the autism community. And this one, we had the puzzle pieces embossed on the front, we had the puzzle pieces in the back. And it was a great introduction into, introducing the autism community to the sneaker culture. And now we're coming back with a new project this year that I hope takes it even bigger. The sneaker community was really receptive to the sneaker, so I'm hoping to come back this year with a newer project that's just blows it out of the water and just takes it, worldwide.
So how can I order one?
So this sneaker itself, yeah, this one you could probably go online and find it in resale, but actually in stores, this one's completely sold out. But yeah, this is with the older model that we had. And we actually I have my tablet right here. I'll actually show you this newer model that we have. It's going to be with the same brand. It's Diadora, and it's going to be available at Foot Locker and Champs. Right now, we're in the pre-production stages of it, and it's getting made. But let me just pop up my pictures for you, and I will show you. I'm pretty proud of this. So this is the sneaker we have coming out this year, and it's the Diadora model N9002. So this sneaker I actually dubbed the B scene, because my whole thing is, especially with people with autism or people with disabilities in general, they tend to be pushed to the background and not really thought about. And to me, that's wrong. And I feel like everyone needs to be seen. You know, no matter who you are, no matter what you're dealing with, like you should be in the front. You should be talked about. You should be seen.
Cool. So that's the name of it. So Be Seen's the name of the title for a promotion.
Yeah, there's just the B scene is going to be the actual name of this sneaker. And so what I went and did was I wanted to be because it's B scene, I wanted to be as inclusive as I could with a lot of different aspects of the autism community. On the inside, we have the puzzle pieces, the multicolored puzzle pieces. Then on the front, we have the infinity symbol. And I know like the rainbow infinity symbol is a symbol that's used a lot in autism. And I actually went with a rainbow tie-dye with the infinity symbols on there because I wanted to be wild, and I just wanted to be fun. I felt like everyone should have a fun sneaker that they can wear that represents them. Another thing that I really want to do this year is these colors right here, those are actually all glow in the dark. And the whole idea is because, again, at nighttime, 24 hours a day, you should be seen. You should not be in the background. And one of the reasons why I dubbed it the B scene is because I didn't want it to just be called the autism shoe, because I felt like, you know, someone with autism, they deserve to have a sneaker that's cool, that has a cool name, that everybody wants to wear too, that represents them.
How did you get interested in Foot Locker?
So growing up, my first job ever was actually in the stockroom of a sneaker store. And, you know, growing up, we didn't have a lot of money in my family. So being able to buy a nice pair of sneakers was the first real big cool thing I was able to do for myself. So ever since then, I was really into like the sneaker culture. And you know, when Foot Locker approached me with the idea of doing a sneaker for autism, that was my whole world was coming together in one thing. And to be able to bring that love that I have for sneakers to a sneaker like this that's so meaningful for the autism community, it was a no-brainer. I jumped at the opportunity, and I will jump at every single opportunity that comes in order to bring something cool to that community. So even my wife's family, like they didn't have a lot of money growing up. So having a Mercedes' brother having a brother that's autistic and just not having the funds to deal with it, that was something that was like very heavy on her. And I know nowadays I know she wants to bring a lot of awareness to the autism community so that it helps families who are in need, and it just helps them, you know, deal with a lot of the financial burdens that come with, you know, having someone who has disabilities in the family. For me, these sneakers are almost like a conversation starter. So when someone sees these sneakers on your feet, they go, "Oh, that's an autism shoe. What's your connection with autism?" And to me, it's an icebreaker. I feel like if we can get the conversation started between two people, then it just goes further and further into learning about it.
And hopefully once the shoe comes out, we'll be able to set them on the shelves with all these shoes for everyone to see. Because having a shoe on the shelf in the store, that's a dream of mine.
So what was it like for your wife to grow up with a family who is living with autism?
So I know she's told me that like it was really hard for her because a lot of, you know, they didn't have much money growing up, and then a lot of that money got allocated to helping out her brother. So there at times, you know, it feels like almost like she's neglected, but you know, growing up she understood why. And that's actually one of our things that we talk about all the time, where at some point we do want to start up our own charity where it's an autism charity, but it's also it's about highlighting the siblings of people with autism, because a lot of times, you know, so much attention goes to helping out the child who's dealing with autism that the brothers and sisters sometimes feel like they're left out and feel like no one's thinking about them. And her, that's how she felt a lot growing up. So it's showing them that, hey, you're not forgotten as well. You're seen as well. Like we see you too, and just giving them, like, we understand your plight, and we want to show you something as well. We want to show you the shine that you deserve as well. So I think a lot of times people forget that it's not just the child with autism, but it's an entire family, and everybody has to cope with it in their own special way. And so we want to be able to highlight that it's a group effort, it's a familial effort, and the more people that are aware of it, the more you can help make that adjustment and make it easier on everyone.
On our way to interview the Flutie family in their home in Florida, we picked up Saratan to help with the interview. Doug Flutie was, of course, a great quarterback who played in 3 leagues, including the NFL. But I think he saved his greatest team for last, as he and his family formed the Flutie Foundation, which has had a tremendous impact for the entire autistic and non-neurotypical community. Hi, I'm here in Florida with the Flutie family, and I'm here with Sarat, who wants to introduce to all of us what he has created for World Autism Awareness Month. Fluties?
Yep, I'm Doug Flutie. This is my wife Laurie, my daughter Alexa, our daughter Alexa, her husband Ian, who is holding the new edition, Brady, and then Denise, who also helps us with Dougie and has been a great help through dealing with Dougie's autism. So we're excited to have you here at the house. And
welcome to our home, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I'm Sarat. I designed these sneakers for Diadora and Foot Locker as part of Autism Awareness Month to help bring awareness and put a product out there that the autism community can connect with and also help spread the message.
How did you make the decision to allow the world to see Dougie and see their lives with Dougie?
I don't think it was ever a conscious decision. I think it was just, he's our son. This is Dougie. This is Alexa's brother. This is our daughter Alexa. This is our family, and this is who we are.
Yeah.
And never thought twice about not having Dougie right there beside us at every turn and everything we did. And now he's the focal point. I'm not playing anymore. He's the one with the shoe contract. So Dougie's front and center, and it's pretty cool that his face is recognizable now. But it's really cool. It was never a conscious decision.
No.
It was just, that's the way it is. Here's our son. And we've had other people. It's amazing how people think. Because there have been people that, once he gets to a certain age, you should probably have him in a home or somewhere they can help him, where he can just live there and you can have your lives. He is our life.
He is our life.
So, because my wife, her brother is autistic. Mm-hmm. And so, growing up, she felt like, a lot of the things that normal kids do in everyday life, she didn't get to engage in because a lot of focus went to her brother. Mm-hmm. So for Alexa, like, how did having a brother, growing up with a brother with autism, how did that affect you as far as your day-to-day life?
Honestly, I grew up not knowing any different. I have to say, I was very young when he was diagnosed, and I always just knew him as my brother and knew him as Dougie. And even though he has this diagnosis, he still acts like a little brother. Like, he'll take my headphones out of my ears when we're in the car to annoy me, or come over and steal my food, or push my face in a cave.
He did do that. And then laughs.
And then laughs at me.
Yeah.
But honestly, no, it's been great growing up with Dougie and with the foundation. It's been very easy for me, and I think that also my parents had a lot to do with that too, because although Dougie needs a lot of attention and care, they definitely made sure that I was a part of that.
And one thing that I noticed at a very young age, that Alexa, right away, when her friends would come over to the house, she made sure she introduced them to Dougie. Mm-hmm. And he was a part of the circle right away. Yeah. It wasn't like, and they all of her friends as well.
Every one of them were great with Dougie.
They were great with every one of them. Yeah. This guy. Day one. Great. We were leaving Dougie with you, weren't we?
Yep.
You were
Yeah, well, it's
Ian, not this guy. He has a name. This guy has a name. It's Ian.
Ian has been wonderful with Dougie too, and I think Dougie, he's very proud of Ian, and he looks up to him literally.
Yeah.
But no, they have a great relationship, and he's Dougie's big brother.
Yeah, he really acts
Yeah.
acts the same. Even like when I hang out, you guys need a quick babysitter because she's off or something, and
Mhm.
I just hang out with him. He comes out of his room and wants to hang out and wants to sit at the table with me, and I feed him and all that fun stuff. And then we watch sports. He'll come literally sit on the couch, which is a rarity for him. I feel like, but he's just he's comfortable with me. I think.
How did you make the decision to create a foundation to help people and families affected by autism live life to the fullest?
Initially, Dougie had just gotten diagnosed at age 3, and I was signing with the Buffalo Bills. And I met Jim Kelly, and Jim had a foundation in his son's name for Krabbe's disease, Hunter's Hope. Hunter had Krabbe's. And Jim and I talked about it, and I'm like, we should be doing something. And that kind of sparked the idea, and that initiated it. Took my signing bonus, put it towards the foundation to get us started. And that just happened to time up when we had the Flutie Flakes come out. We sold 3.5 million boxes of Flutie Flakes towards the foundation, and it just started to snowball.
It took off like
Yeah,
wildfire.
Bills Mafia gets crazy with their support.
Oh, the Bills, we went up, Flutie Flakes came out 25 years ago, 20 plus years ago. And I went back up there last year, and the Bills fans are absolutely amazing. And right away, we sold another 50,000 boxes, and fans are, I say all the time up there, I played 3 seasons in Buffalo, and Jim Kelly spent his whole career there. They treat me like I'm Jim Kelly, and they're just fantastic. But anyway, the combination of the Flutie Flakes and everything else that took off that year really kickstarted our foundation. Now, the primary goal for us, initially we talked about putting money towards research, but we couldn't make a difference in that area. Where we feel we can make a difference is with families, whether it's services, schools, equipment, computers, you name it. We wanted to take some of the burden off families.
For sure. And, we also, when he was first diagnosed, we didn't know a whole lot about autism at the time, and we were learning as well. And we thought, this would be a great opportunity to use Doug's celebrity in an extremely positive way, and to just let people know that, this can happen to anybody, and we want to be there for anyone that might need, assistance in any way. We also realized financially it can be very difficult to get, even just bicycles or any type of computer or anything that would help their child, enjoy life or, help them learn in a better way. And we just really wanted to be there for other families as well. And in turn, they helped us get through the diagnosis too, because we needed the support, and just talking to other people really helped us along as well. So
it's really become a big part of our lives. Post-football career for me now, and I talk about this, that I played football for 21 years, which was a long time, and that's my career. We've already had the foundation for 23 years, and it's going to continue for another 20, 30, whatever, and go on. Hopefully these 2 idiots back here keep it going.
Yes, you will continue keeping it going.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I have a friend whose son was recently diagnosed with autism, and I could just see it in his face, how daunting the task at hand, tends to be. And so having foundations like yours, where he can have access just to information, is key. Because I always find that for a lot of people, it's that access to information that they feel like they just don't have a way of getting to it.
For
but,
sure.
The earlier they can get to it, the better off they're going to be as far as handling the situation.
Absolutely. And for us, we're very positive people. So, almost immediately after Dougie was diagnosed, we wanted to do something in a very positive way and use this, in a very positive manner. So that was kind of our motivation as well. And to be there for people like that, to just, offer support or, whatever it is they might need, or questions or anything like that.
And the way we view it is, this is Dougie's legacy. We're his voice.
Yeah.
but this is his legacy. He's making a difference. Laurie's got these Dougie heads that are
Well,
all over
yeah.
the country. We got people, like we're all killing ourselves running the 5K last week or whatever. Yeah, Laurie's not, but get out and do the 5K. We go out and there's people all over the country doing activities
Holding
and
these.
things, raising money in Dougie's name, holding Dougie's face, head out and about, and it's really, it's his
Being
voice.
seen, you know.
There's the whole being seen thing.
Yep,
He's out there.
yep.
And that's, we're his voice. We've kind of,
Mhm.
this is his legacy though. This is what we view as his legacy.
Yep.
I know that a lot of the autism organizations focus a lot on research and science. It seems like the Flutie Foundation focuses on everyday lives and on the here and now quality of life. So,
Yeah, that's, the point we're making is that we didn't feel like we had enough money to make a real difference in research. And I got my own attitude about research and this. But we can make a difference with families and take some of the burden off families.
Mhm.
I mean, my daughter's having her hands full in the background, just, Brady. Imagine having 2 or 3 children with autism.
Yeah.
That you're trying to control and take care of and get to school and the things that they need.
Mhm.
And we can make a difference in that area. And that's why the focus shifted to families and
Yes.
services.
Yeah. We wanted to, even whatever, camps or recreational activities and things that just bring pure enjoyment, to those on the spectrum and to their families and things that they can all do together, we feel is a very important aspect of life. So, water sports camps and just all different kinds of things
Brady
like
just
that.
gave you a smirk while he's like,
Oh.
he's like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Hi.
Brady,
yeah.
say
You
hi.
talking about me?
Hi, Brady.
What, you gonna give me some services, Mom, over there? I could go horseback riding.
But anyway, yeah, our focus is more, yes, we want, live life to the fullest. So just everyone should enjoy life, no matter what it is they want to pursue or, what they enjoy doing with activities or even just to help, like I said, education or anything like that. That's more of our focus.
But a real cool part of this is now that Dougie's name is on a lot of schools, on different physical therapy rooms, things of that nature. And so again, the be seen aspect of it, he's out there, his name is getting out there on all these, and it's really cool to see that the connection of having his name attached to these services that are helping so many people. Like Dougie being
I had a parent at my dance studio whose son is actually deaf and ended up at the hospital in Orlando. And when she was there in the middle of the night stressing out, she saw Dougie's name on the side of the door and sent me a picture of it, and that was just kind of a relief for her to know that we were there and helping her.
They do have a sensory room
Sensory.
at Nemours over in the Orlando area.
Oh, like Nana.
Yes, yeah. So,
Straight for me.
yeah.
How does Dougie communicate with you, and how have you learned to understand him and his needs at once?
Well, I think, we can definitely read Dougie's body language and what he's trying to tell us. But he's actually learned some signs, and I don't know if it's official sign language, but we call it Dougie sign language. So he can tell us when he's hungry. He can tell us when he wants his toy. So when he's hungry, he does this. When he wants his toy, he does this. When he wants a drink, he does this. So those signs have actually helped us tremendously in knowing when he needs to eat or when he wants something specific. And, we're always aware of when he might, when he needs to eat and giving him snacks and all that. But we want him to tell us when he wants, like we might not realize he wants a snack now. So it's helped a lot in his communication to us and letting us know.
if he is not happy with something, he will vocalize and you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
how do you envision awareness and acceptance of autism in 5 through 10 years from now, and how will it affect Dougie's adult life?
Basically, I think the biggest challenge right now and for the future, 5 to 10 years from now, is dealing with this whole adult community of autism. People with autism that now are turning adult. And the challenge is there. Whether it's assisted living, whether it's job placements, employment, something to make them with their self-worth. And everyone gravitating in that direction to include them in this, we talked about the fellows program and having employment opportunities to make people feel fulfilled and getting jobs. That is the next step. So the numbers are huge, and there's a whole group here that want to feel part of the community, that want to get jobs, that want to be independent in some respect, whether it's complete independence or assisted living. That's the challenge for the next generation, and we need more and more facilities along those lines and things to help accommodate.
I just think, though, that the awareness will just continue to grow, and the people in the autism community will be more accepted. And I really feel that that's going to just get better and better as the years progress, and they will be seen in the community, and I think that's just going to improve greatly. As far as Dougie being seen, we have the Dougie head, but our foundation, we feel, it was Dougie's calling, and like we were saying, this is Dougie's legacy, and we want to be Dougie's voice for many, many, many more years to come, and that's how we feel Dougie will be seen, and I just think that that's going to be an amazing in the future as well.
So it's this fulfillment of having a job and doing it well and being proud of what you're putting forward. Whether it's a small job and getting a job placement or just building a skill, it's along our lines of our mission statement of living your life to the fullest and giving these kids, as they grow up, a chance to feel fulfilled and earn a paycheck. Yeah. The first, it's like, yeah, I did this. I'm accomplishing something, and being a part of the community and my social skills and everything else, and being out there and adding to the community, bringing a worth to it, or a sense of being that, I'm important. And it's pretty cool. It's really cool.
It was like one of the stories that we heard when we were at Spectrum Designs. They told us a story about how a couple of the autistic individuals they had from the Nicholas Center who were working there got to a point where they were making plans with each other to, hey, after work, we're going to go across the street and go get ice cream.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And it was just like something that small that a lot of people take for granted. Just seeing that come about in individuals where you thought, they might have a hard time with life. No, they're going to work, getting paid, they're going to get ice cream, hanging out with each other.
That's great.
It's such a feel-good story.
Absolutely. Spectrum Designs, another, with the, people on the spectrum working there, and even Epic Players that I know you're involved with in the theater, and, so, I think, I don't know, it's just been a wonderful part of our foundation.
That everyone can feel proud of themselves and have a sense of worth and accomplishment. It's just very rewarding for us to see it, but on their behalf, just the fulfillment that they get is amazing.
We have Spectrum of Sound also that that performs at a lot of our events. So it's just awesome.
To go along with their sneaker campaign for autism awareness, Foot Locker and Surratt are having some silkscreen t-shirts printed at Spectrum Designs. Spectrum is a self-sustaining business that also receives support from the Flutie Foundation and others. Everyone is constantly being trained and mentored, including the staff, management, the trainees, and even the designers. Anyone can mentor, and anyone can learn a new job, once they are really good at it. At Spectrum Designs, over 50% of the staff are living with autism.
I had many different jobs, but none of them I didn't really like working in restaurants, and then I had retail jobs. I didn't feel like it was the best job for me, and it's actually the first job that I've been able to work full time.
I work at Spectrum Sides, where we serve laundry business in Port Washington. I've been working at the Nicholas Center for I would just say for 4 years now. This is like my second home for me.
What I do here is I make sure the products look good before it goes out to the customer.
So basically, before Spectrum, I used to, I was a college dropout, and I did little odd jobs, like I would work in kitchens, but I found that those jobs in kitchens were very verbally abusive. It was not a healthy work environment at all. The one thing I give them credit for is helping toughen me, because when you get yelled at in many different languages, you gotta get thick skin. But so yeah, then I job to job, but eventually I ended up here, and it's a totally different culture, because like in the kitchens again, you're getting yelled at in multiple languages. It's like extremely fast paced. I know for me, like I'm sensitive to like extreme temperatures, so like when I'm going by the fryer or the fire's on, like I'm getting really uncomfortable. So like here, none of that. So this is really a really preferred type of work environment.
My responsibilities are clock in every time I enter the door, put my stuff in the closet, and find the job coach to see what's going on for today.
I was diagnosed when I was 14, so my mom noticed when I was in middle school that I wasn't as socially developed as others, and then I started going to psychiatrists, and then I was diagnosed. But I didn't really understand my diagnosis until I was like an adult, because I was never in special ed or anything, so I was always in the same like class as others. But it wasn't until I was an adult I understood why I was more different and helped me understand more about my diagnosis.
I like working here because like all of the people that I've met and all the friends that I've made.
If Spectrum wasn't here for me, I'll be at home.
I would say it gets very tough as they throw a lot of responsibilities you are given, but you gotta have to accept for these challenges. If you don't accept them, you're not gonna get the work done. But you can just have some fun, just be very, very mindful. Just be aware of like what you're doing, and just try not to, overwhelm yourself, because there are sometimes people overwhelm themselves with like work, and the place does offer you breaks, but people like myself, I always push myself forward.
They generally had like video calls with all of us like constantly to make sure everyone's okay. They would do little like events and stuff through video chat. So they were keeping us all engaged and stuff during that, and I don't think this place gets credit because no one really like highlights or talks about that ever. But that was really amazing, and I cannot name one other place who would have done that.
I love being able to help other people on the spectrum because I've been through a lot through my life, so I love being able to help other people and also bake, which is one thing I love. So it's like a mesh of two things I love to do: mentor people, help people, and then bake.
Also to keep the guys like focused and on task. If one of the guys is on his phone, then I have to redirect him and be like, are you staying focused, and get him back to it, doing what he's supposed to be doing. The social interaction is really nice, and not being home and doing nothing.
As lead production assistant, I'm responsible for having knowledge in things from all the way from the printing stuff all the way to embroidery and everything in between. I'm also responsible for, like, let's say, leadership skills. So if folks have questions, like a senior or regular production assistant, I'm their superior, so they can come to me, and so stuff like that.
It feels great, but when you're surrounded like with great amounts of people who have like the same disability as you can just like, okay, just roll with it and be mindful and be respectful to whoever they're feeling, either they're, depends on their personality, and what's, you gotta just be very patient. And once you find the right spot, this is going to be the perfect cue.
Lead production assistant, basically, we're, like I said earlier, the top of the production assistant bracket, and we can stand in for, let's say, if people are out sick, we have enough training so we can take over that. Not for like their entire thing, but for the day we have enough to like keep it going. We also have like certain areas which we specialize in. Like, for example, me, I'm usually downstairs. Downstairs is where we do the printing, and the dark room, which is where we make them the graphics and the screens pretty much. So I'm usually in one of those two areas. But again, let's say someone in the embroidery area is sick or got isn't here. I have the responsibility to go up there and take care of that, and I need to have the knowledge to also kind of be able to help out others if need be. And the most thing is the leadership part, because when you help people, you see them grow, and you're like, wow, I really made an impact. I taught them that, and there are different ways to teach people things. So you find the right way for the right person, and it really makes a big difference, and it's really satisfying to see.
But prior to working here, I was working at a retail store, and I worked there for like 4 years, and I didn't feel like there was much growth here. And I feel like here, they encourage people to grow, and they always find ways for their employees to be able to grow and make everyone feel seen.
So this is the main part of our warehouse where all of our clothing is held. So UPS will come here, they pull up right to the door, all of the boxes are unloaded, and then our lovely operations team, which you see to your right, they will open each box, they will count everything that's in them, they will match it to an order form, make sure that everything from that order form is matched to that box, and then from there it is then brought into whichever decoration process it is getting, so whether it goes into screen printing or goes upstairs to embroidery. That is the main thing that happens here, and also at the end of the day, when the order is done, it'll then go into this room, are sorted, they're packed, they're separated by size, they're hand tagged, and this is where it ends. It gets packed up. We do everything. So whatever you can really think of, we can absolutely do here. So we have sweatshirts, we have t-shirts, we have different brands that come in. We can get hundreds of different types of clothing that come in a day. Every order is completely customized. Yep. So you never see really the same thing twice, which is kind of cool. So in order for us to print it, we have to vector it. Okay. In that case, it's either we can find the font that you used, or if it's big enough and clear enough, we can image trace it, which is what I did in your case.
Yep.
And then depending on, you play with all of the little toggles to make sure that you get all the detail you want. So the reason why you need vector is because you can make it any size.
Yeah.
And you will keep, and the resolution stays the same.
Okay.
If I had left the image the way it was,
Yep.
if we were to make it larger to put onto the screen, there's a good chance that it would have been really blurry.
Yeah.
So once that was done, I was able to take this and make it into a different color to then bring over to here. So I was able to bring it into here, and I was able to find a cool tie-dye design that I thought kind of matched the most to your sneakers. And so what we would do in this case is you would make a clipping mask right on top of it so that the above image will take the shape of what's below it.
White, that's on the base of it. So this machine drives it into colors. Yeah.
We're really grateful for opportunities like this with Foot Locker and with you guys because it's hard to bring the whole world in here, right? So that's why the beauty of video. Part of our mission is about helping educate and the wider community, corporations, other businesses that like this is possible and that it's not just the right thing to do, which it is, but it's good for business, right? It's not charity. It's really a good thing to do and incorporate into your model. And true inclusivity is just makes the whole community richer.
Yeah, I get that. It's like, it's not, you don't want it to be a gimmick. Like this is our tagline that pulls people in. Like, no, this is something that should be done everywhere.
Right.
And they should normalize it.
Yeah.
No, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Did you ever hit any like hiccups as far as like setting up the business? Like I can't imagine it was a smooth.
Tons, yeah. We had no idea what we were doing. We had to like YouTube and go to trade shows. Like we didn't know how to run print machines. We didn't know how to do a lot. Thankfully, we had the internet, and we knew the one thing we knew early on was how to like tailor the task and how to make it so that we were working on things that were beneficial and accessible for a broad spectrum of our employees, and how we can make adaptations. You guys would have seen like the markings on the floor and the visual cues and stuff around, and the partnership with the Nicholas Center, our training service or service agency. All of that stuff was there. So then we were like, now we have to just run a good business. And so we prioritize things that every good business does. We prioritize quality. We prioritize price. We prioritize customer service. And we realized, and we delivered on time. And if we could do those things and we had the mission, that was the cherry on top, not the other way around. We didn't want to act like a charity or an organization that was worthy of the crumbs from your table. It was all about being a good, sustainable business solution and showing the capabilities of all these people. Yeah. And if we could do those things, we would hit it out of the park, put out a good product, and deliver on time. Then people would come back to us. So that's the growth. That's where it was key.
My name is Stella Spinakos. This is my brainchild, the Nicholas Center and Spectrum Designs. I started it 11 years ago when my husband died suddenly. We were in the garment center. I sold everything I owned to float this until we were up and going on our feet. And my son is the Nicholas in the Nicholas Center. I created all of this for him and his classmates. We call Nicholas Center the secret sauce that makes it work. It's the education side, it's the vocational side. So what happens is, this is a social enterprise. This is a business, Spectrum Designs, and what they want to do is, our goal is to employ individuals on the autism spectrum. So the Nicholas Center is the agency that supports them so that they can work here. So a lot of, we run the gambit. We hire individuals that need one-to-ones who are severely disabled, and we have individuals that have college degrees and they're savants and they're Asperger's. So we run everything. So everybody needs a different type of support. So the Nicholas Center starts by training. We have 2 other buildings. So we start by doing an evaluation, and we start training. We break down every process that you see in this building here, and we break it down into a task analysis. And then we reconstruct it over at the Vocation Center, where we train the individuals so that they get to a point of proficiency, they get used to a noisy environment, they get used to all these things that everybody else takes for granted, but my son finds very upsetting.
Okay. One of the things I really liked, while going to the tour, was seeing that, the jobs that people were doing, they're not just menial tasks. You would think that, you build a space like this and, you hand over, okay, you can push some paper here. No, these are all like skillful positions that it takes skill to run those positions. And everybody's working hand in hand. It's not the leftover piece of, the work day that you get. We're all working together to create this work environment, and that was one of the things I really loved downstairs.
No, thank you. And look, I mean, people are paid here, right? So we couldn't keep the lights on if we were paying them to do things that weren't going to add value and benefit to our customers and to people who are supporting us. And also, like I joke, but there's many tasks here that I can't do. I try. I've learned a bit, like, you have to be skilled, right? And so there's machinery and stuff that I try to learn, and it's just, they're just a lot better at it than me. And there's many people here like that, and that's how it should be, right? Yeah. And no, but thanks for saying that, because it's important. It's important that people see, like you coming in, and see that these guys are doing real work and skilled work.
When I came, it was great seeing everyone do all this hard work, actually. Creating the shirt, they've spent they worked really hard creating this for World Autism Awareness, and I'm proud of them.
So in terms of support, I think having a really good partnership with a human service agency, we have one with the Nicholas Center, who I think you're going to talk to, is really important because they're the job coaches, they're the people that allow you to provide the supports to those who otherwise wouldn't maybe be as successful without them.
So this is what we do, and we get them ready so that they can be brought over here and supported here in the training center, and then eventually we love, if that's what they want, it to lead to employment. So that's how it goes. But the secret sauce is the Nicholas Center here supporting Spectrum Designs so that it's seamless, so that when they come in, the head of the production, he speaks to our head of our ed staff here, and they say, okay, what's on schedule for tomorrow? Because again, everybody needs to have multiple skills. You just can't have one kid that all he can ever do is this, because that's all you ever taught him. So he can't, he can't, go over to packing because he doesn't know how to fold yet. So this is what we do.
So if I was doing this all over again, or if my advice to someone who was setting up a company like this would be to prioritize the business, right? Obviously you've got the mission in mind, you want to do something great and never lose faith of that or lose sight of that, but to create a product or a service that people need, to deliver it on time with a quality that represents the people and the mission you're trying to deliver on, to have good customer service, and if you can do those things and be price competitive in this market, then your social mission should be the kind of the cherry on top. I think that's really what I would advise from a business point of view. From a social point of view, presume competence. If you're looking to create jobs for these guys, don't come in with a mindset of what someone can or what they can't do. Look at what they can do. I think start there. Start with, I believe you'll be able to do this, and then build up, which is what we've been able to do here. And just stay true. Stay true to those two things. Recognize that business and mission can go side by side and go horizontally, but don't lose sight of one or the other, because ultimately you'll go off track. I think it varies person by person, right? The saying, one person with autism, one person with autism. So I think some are really quick, some take a little bit longer, but we have neurotypical people who take longer than others. So it hasn't really been they need longer. It just, some more than others, But I think the environment is such that, and I hope you guys agree, that it's a welcoming, tolerant environment where people kind of feel safe pretty much immediately, and that's a tough thing at a new place when there's lots of things going on.
So that's why you guys are the most beautiful and most precious flowers in the garden. Okay, and each and every one of you unfolding is a miracle, and I just love watching it.
Yeah.
I love watching them grow, mature. The other day, so after you create a place like the Nicholas Center and Spectrum Designs, so you have them learning and working. It doesn't get any better than that, because that's the recipe for self-esteem. That's how you build self-esteem in a person. You give them all these reasons to succeed, and all of the availability of supporting them so they can succeed. All of a sudden, one day, I turned around and I see 3 of our guys leaving work after 5 o'clock. Nobody arranged it. We didn't arrange or any of this. They took it upon themselves to ask each other, do you want to go and get ice cream across the street? That's how it starts.
I'm Kelly Fisher. I'm an enterprise assistant at Spectrum Bakes, and it's nice to be seen.
My name is Jeremy Dugan, and I'm nice to be seen.
My name is Josh Mursky, and it's nice to be seen.
I'm Tara. It's nice to be seen.
My name is Kyle Naverson, and it feels really great to be seen.
When I was little, I felt invisible, but then I was allowed to join the orchestra, and it was nice to be seen.
When I got a little older, I got into TV production. It was nice to be seen there. Then I was performing with a theater group, and then a playwright saw me and asked me to be in his off-Broadway play, and it was great to be seen. Then I produced and edited a series about people with all kinds of disabilities, and it was great that they were seen. But none of these things would have happened if lots of people hadn't helped me along the way. Hi, I'm Ben Rosloff. I'm living with autism. I'm on a spectrum, but most important, I want to be seen. It's great to be seen.